Hey
And
Nick.
first of all, I want to say, like, we cannot wait until we see you as king again. It just has to happen. Petition, whatever is going to happen, it has to happen. And we're sure it's going to happen. And secondly, I really love this movie. It was very emotional. Just watching Killian go through all of that. And I don't want to give things away, but the ending just yeah. So I wanted to know for you, how did you prepare emotionally for this role? I feel like there was just so much that went into it, and I can't imagine how much that may have taken out of you, like physically, emotionally, to kind of go through that. And so I wondered if you could talk about that a bit.
Yes, ma'am. The expense of the film, the personal expense of the film. Um, yeah. Um, probably the hardest one to make. You know what I mean? Like I don't have favorites, but you understand that like okay, for this film, the amount of hours that I had to put in on it were it was a lot. You know what I mean? Like it
Mhm.
was a lot, And it wasn't and it again, it wasn't just in the gym. I'm just talking about physical first, and then we'll talk about the emotional. Um, the physical work was, and I enjoy it. Like I just got back from the gym. Said gym, talk to the folks. I'm off to my day, right? But the extreme nature of it, right? Of bodybuilding in general is gnarly, right? And then adding into that the given circumstances of where this guy lands in that world, right? He's in the hunt. That's the worst place to be if you don't want to put out effort. You know what I mean? If you're losing, you just kind of sit on your ass and just say, cool, whatever. If you're winning, you maintain. If you're in the hunt, you got to go. And Killian was definitely in the hunt the whole time. My AC just came out, y'all. Is it messing you up? Can you hear me? We're good. Yeah. Um, so he was in the hunt. So the amount of training that went into it, the amount of dieting, I think it was I think I put on from the time I got the script to the time we shot, I put on 20 pounds. About, yeah. 20 pounds is about a year and a half. No, about a year and 3 months. Um, and I had just come off of Creed, right? And so I'm training for the Creed 3. So I'm training for the bodybuilding film while I'm working on Creed. So my body's in a whole different spot, right? Like I'm shooting with Mike in the mornings, in the night, and then at 11 o'clock after work, I'm going to the gym, right? For the second time, right? For Creed, it's a different thing, right? So and then I have to eat, right? And I've got you got you. It's not optional. It's not like and it's, you're not praised if you don't eat. Like, nah, that's not cute, bro. You got to eat. You know what I mean? And like the amount of times I'm walking around the kitchen table, just like God help me. You know what I mean? Just like shoving it back. Like it was it was it was a beautiful cocoon to be in, right? And now when we speak to the emotional life of it, right? That's where things kind of all come together because in order to get your body right to a certain spot, you have got to separate. No, you have to lean into the most human parts of you, right? What I mean by that, I mean you're gonna experience pain, right? Pretty quickly in a workout, right? First 15 minutes of it, you're going to be feeling pain. And then for the next hour and 30 minutes, it's going to be there. And in fact, if it's not there, you're actually not doing it right. Right? And so what comes from that is like when it's like if any of you guys have like ran really hard and then you cry afterwards, right? Yeah, yeah. It just opens you up, right? Your adrenaline hits a certain way, right? And then you just like you're either very happy or you're very just like or you're crying. There's a lot of crying in the gym working on this, right? And then that connects to what happens on screen, right? No one's filming me at 1 o'clock in the morning training. I mean, my guys are there, but no one's shooting me, right? That's just for me. But what ended up happening is I then went, okay, cool. This is the preparation for the movie. So Jonathan, probably trained the first 4 months, right? And then from the fifth month to the, let's call it 13th month, right? Killian was training. So I used it as rehearsal, right? And so I began to train as Killian, right? And then from that, I learned about his emotional life. What type of person, how much pain would you have to experience in your daily life to be able to endure and actually invite this type of pain privately in a gym, right? And then finally, I believe that Killian, for my money, uh, is he's a spirit character, right? For me, there's soul characters and spirit characters, right? Kang was a soul character. Uh, um, Killian is a spirit character, right? What does that mean? It means which part of me am I using, right? And when you think about spirit and light, I think about children, right? When I think about children, I think about clown work, right? And clown work is a big thing about my work, right? He Who Remains, all clown. Montgomery Allen and Black Man in San Francisco, all clown. You know what I mean? They're always there, but those two performances and now Killian are more clown forward, right? What I mean by that, clown is the unsocialized, pure, gentle part of yourself, right? If I sit my daughter down, maybe not so much now because she's almost a teenager, but at around 7 years old, I could sit her there and she would go through eight emotions, right? Boom, laughter, cry, boom, 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 boom. That's the spirit of the clown, right? This unsocialized, beautiful, pure thing, right? And you take that thing and you run it through the dirt, you run it through the gravel, you run it through the woods, you throw it in the pool. That's what you guys are witnessing. What happens to a person who, I mean, we can talk, medically, right, with arrested development to a degree, right? That incident that we talk about at the table at the diner, right? You have to imagine that stunted him completely, right? And he had to keep, but he kept growing and he kept going, right? He kept pursuing. Um, but that childlike emotional life, right, is was the core of it. And a lot of that I got to witness for the first time and experience Killian and what that felt like through the physical transformation.
Nice. That was an amazing explanation. Thank you. And yeah, there are just so many layers to this movie. And it's really beautiful and much success with it and just success in general.
Thank you, sir.